everybody. Big day and welcome to Ignite Humanity Live. I'm your host, JB Owen, and I'm so delighted to be here because we get to talk again about ways to ignite humanity. I'm coming to you every day, weekly, Monday to Friday, to share with you on how you can step into your greatness and ignite humanity. That's right, you have greatness in you, and we want to share with you on ways to bring that forth because now more than ever, we need to be recognizing how we have an impact and an influence on what is happening in the world. And we want to support you in finding unique ways that work for you, ways that fit into your lifestyle, where you can make little incremental movements, moving humanity forward. And that can be small things, not big things, but small things that create a huge ripple effect. And so we have a few principles when it comes to igniting humanity, 7 unique principles. And today I'm going to talk about principle number 6. It's all about living authentically and being in genuine integrity. There's so many times where people are pulling us in different directions. In fact, we're even taunted and influenced to do things that are outside our authenticity and even pushing our own values and integrity. Life is hard, and sometimes we're challenged to do things that we wouldn't normally do under better circumstances. And with things being difficult, we sometimes get that little pull to do things that doesn't feel like our true selves. And the show is really designed to help you realize that although we're all going through difficulties, we have this wonderful common denominator, and being our authentic selves, our true selves, is really what empowers each and every one of us. And when we're living in our authenticity, it gives somebody else permission to do the same. And so how do you do that? Well, it's little tiny movements, little tiny incremental steps that you take towards being your true self. And what I like to say, it's about sharing that powerful story inside of you that somebody can really benefit from. You have a story. You've been through difficult trials and tribulations that have given you wisdom and learning and blessings, that by sharing those things with somebody else, you inspire them and you uplift them and you give them inspiration that they too can do the same, knowing that their trials and your trials have the ability to create wisdom and blessings in our lives. And by sharing those authentic stories, we truly do come together. Hearing somebody else's hardships allows us to be more connected to them. And that, in my opinion, is what is going to ignite humanity. So we love sharing stories, and we'd love to hear your story. If you have a great story to share, or you're igniting humanity in a unique way, please reach out to us at ignitehumanity.life/share and tell us what you're up to, what you're doing, and how you're igniting humanity in your own way. And if you have a friend or family member or colleague who may be doing something exceptional, we too would love to hear from them. Go on the form and fill it out for them, and we will reach out to them, and maybe, just maybe, perfectly, they will be on the show. Well, we bring guests each and every day to you to tell you and show you that around the globe, different cultures, different voices, different people, different genders, different experiences allow people to inspire you, and we want to hear from them. And so we have a great guest coming up, but before we do that, I'll just let you know that today is Inspiration Day. That's right. We're talking all about inspiration, ways to inspire you. So stay tuned as we share with you how you can get inspired to ignite humanity. All right, well, let me tell you about our first guest, an amazing individual. Stacie Shifflett is the founder and CEO of Modern Consciousness. She's an entrepreneur conscious coach and multiple international best-selling author. And Modern Consciousness, the way this brand that she has developed, is the ability to raise our unconscious, to elevate our lives and experience more joy and inner peace. We're going to be talking all about consciousness because I know it's a buzzword, and Stacie is going to give us some great tips. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Welcome to the show. Welcome, my darling.
Hi, JB. How are you?
Fantastic and blessed. Thank you so much. And delighted that you are here because we're going to talk about one of my favorite conversations, and it is about raising the consciousness of ourselves so that we can raise the consciousness of the planet. Now, you have a very big dream, big goal, big aspiration, and doing great things to ignite humanity with your business, Modern Consciousness. Can you tell us a little bit about Modern Consciousness so we understand it?
Yes, I can. Actually, it aligns really well with your topic today, because that's what I do. Is I teach people how to reclaim their true selves, right? Because we lose that a little bit along the way, and it's expected. It's part of being human. I have 4 primary stages of growth that have come out of my experience, and also the downloads that I have received as I meditate, and the idea for this company was gifted to me. The first one, and we've all done it, is automaton, right? We are just running on autopilot, and we do that for a number of years, and it's a very, very valuable stage in our life. It creates our foundation. This is when we go through our education, we're building our careers, right? It is that stage of life. I find that the second stage, which I call illuminated skeptic, and it's not that we are skeptical of possibilities, but actually that we're starting to call the status quo of our lives into question, right? We start to say, is this all there is? And that's when we have a willingness, we begin to open a willingness to explore outside of what our daily routine is, right? We know that something's not feeling quite right. We're misaligned in some areas. And how do we reclaim that? How do we get back to our true identities and align our lives with our values and our goals? Awakening soul is what I call the third stage. And that is really as we awaken, our knowledge expands, we begin to adopt and align to new beliefs, right? We begin to understand that, gosh, these beliefs that I'm holding really aren't serving me well, right? We learned them from somewhere else. They're deeply ingrained in them. Let's get back to what we truly believe. And then the last stage I call the transformers. None of this is linear, right? We cycle through with different things, but transformers is where we really begin to embody what we've been learning and our new selves. And it doesn't only transform our life, it transforms the lives of all of those around us, the people that we're in relationships with, that we care so deeply for, etc. So that's modern consciousness in a nutshell.
I love it. I love that you put it in such a succinct format. So let's go right back to the beginning. Automaton, I mean, it's an interesting word, but I guess it really makes sense because there is times in our life where we're just, blinders on, going forward, going through school, getting married, raising our kids. Like we're just really in the system of doing things. Do you feel that when people are in that phase, they're less likely to learn, they're less likely to be adapting new things because they're just trying to get it done? Is it something that is more in relation to their evolution in their as they age? Just tell me a little bit more about that, because I find it quite fascinating. I can think of times in my life when I was in the automaton phase, but also curious what helps bring people into phase 2 as they move through that.
I think that first phase, as I said, is so valuable. There's nothing wrong with it. There's everything right about it. We come into this world, we have to learn everything, right? We have to learn language, how to talk. We have to learn manners. We have to learn to read, right? We begin to build our careers. It actually is a knowledge building area. The thing is, we adopt a lot of beliefs along the way that may be in alignment with us and they may not be. So, me, for instance, I spent years building a career, and that's awesome, right? That's why I'm where I am today. But it's financially, right? And at some point, we kind of begin to think, oh my gosh, is this all there is, right? If you're a family out there with your kids, you're doing everything you think is right, and you've got them in soccer and ballet classes and cheer, and both parents are working and everybody's running in different directions, and really your goal and your intention is to provide and do the best you can for your family, but you become so stressed that you're actually doing the opposite, or can do the opposite, because you're stressed. You get home, you're on schedules, you don't have time to do those things. So I think that's when you start questioning, oh my gosh, is this all there is? Is this my life? I think that's when we advance to the next step.
It's true. I mean, many of us actually hit that ignite moment where they're like, Is this all there is? And of course they know it's not, but then they start looking and they start searching. And I think it's great that you're right, that that phase is really valuable. It's like the gathering phase, the
Mhm.
knowledge phase, to get you to the next phase where you're like, okay, there's got to be something more. Let's start discovering it. Let's start uncovering it. And that is phase two, the illuminated skeptic. Is that what you call it?
Yes, yes.
And so so when I hear that, I think of, so I'm feeling illuminated, I'm feeling awakened, I'm feeling inspired, but I'm still a little unsure. Is that what you mean by that?
Yes, I think, there's a lot of uncertainty that life can be any different. And to a great deal, that's our training and our teaching and our indoctrination, for lack of a better word. A career track, for example, we have a goal to attain a certain level.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to be a partnership in a law firm, right? But it gets tedious and we get tired along the way, and we're sacrificing other areas of our life. And if all of that is in alignment and everybody's on the same page, then that's one thing. But if that is really out of alignment with what you want to be doing, if you really don't want to be away from home 15 hours a day, have dinner, and then get back on the laptop and work 2 more hours, that's where we begin to get the pull of, oh my gosh. And I think those are signals to us. Our bodies signal to us through disease. Our minds signal to us through our thoughts all the time. Our emotions signal us all the time. Emotional triggers. So those actually, they irritate us. They irritate those around us. We can direct it outward to other people, like in anger. But what really happens so often is we're really directing it inward to us, right? And we're fueling our unworthiness and how we feel about ourselves in a negative way instead of building those things in a positive way.
That's so true. Many of us do that. And so, and again, I love that you're breaking down consciousness, because for a lot of people, it's a big word. It's a buzzword. It's a word that they're like, oh, that's for over those people over there. But the truth is, it really, and what you're sharing is, it's more of just an uncovering. It's an unfolding. It's an awareness. It's a curiosity of how you think, what you believe in, what you value. And so it's not a scary word that just is assigned to people of a certain ilk or intelligence. It really is a willingness to ask yourself some of these questions, maybe even redefine the parameters of your life and your intentions. And so I love that it makes consciousness to be all about me, not necessarily about I'm trying to reach somebody else's goal in the way of consciousness. So thank you for giving me that clarity. Tell me a little bit more about phase three. So I moved out of automaton. I'm not such a skeptic anymore. I'm really leaning into this. I get it. And I move into phase three.
I think that's when I call it awakening soul. And I think that's when we really awaken to one of your favorite words, which is possibilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's when we really begin to notice that there might be other ways that we can live our lives. It's when we start to become aware of our thoughts and we start training ourselves to catch them, right? And investigate them a little bit and figure out what's going on there. Why is that doing that? Why do I feel this way? But more importantly, how do I change it? But you have to figure out what's at the bottom of it, right? You might be irritated with someone because you think they were perhaps rude to you. It's probably not it, right? You have to keep
Mm-hmm.
digging down a little bit to really figure out what's going on. And we really begin to understand our beliefs that are driving us, and we can change those beliefs. We can modify them. We can
Update them.
tweak them.
Update
We
them.
can update them.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's that phase.
I really like this phase, and I think the world is coming into this phase. I think if you even think of like history, like there was a time in history when we were very much an automaton. There were the slaves, and there were the workers, and there were the farmers, and there was this, people were just all in the doing mode kind of thing, just going through life. And yet now people have sort of already even moved through the skeptical phase, it on a global scale, we're really moving into the awakened soul. And of course, this show is really about awakening people to start thinking differently and start becoming more aware. And you can agree with me, there's no perfect, there's no you've reached the finish line, there's no you've got it all.
Line. Well, it just deepens, but it gets better as it deepens. I mean, I've been doing this for a decade now. I mean, as far as being aware of it, right, and consciously working on it and raising my awareness on it, and improving myself. Hopefully, that's what I think I'm doing. I'm certainly a much happier, more joy-filled person, right? I don't worry. I used to worry all the time. I think you and I chatted the other day about the hurricane that was going to hit here, right? I'm in Sarasota. I was vacationing with my son. 10 years ago, I would have just been worried. Oh my God, I'm too far from home. What am I going to do? I know they evacuate. I need to get back. Blah, blah. No, we checked the weather. There's nothing we could do about it. And we just stayed present. My son and I stayed present with each other on our vacation, visiting, 3 wonderful national parks out west. It was like, okay, well, we're going to go do what we're doing today. And when we get back to the hotel this evening, we'll check the weather forecast and see what happened. And the truth is, there's nothing I could have done about it anyway. So why let that interfere with our vacation? And we didn't. So that's one of those little ignite moments, right? When you start going, wow, I'm really onto something here, right? I've done it, I've accomplished that piece. And it's such a more joyful, peaceful feeling to not worry about something you can't do anything about anyway. Why waste that time with my son? Why waste the expense of the trip? It didn't happen. We just enjoyed ourselves in spite of it. Doesn't mean we weren't concerned about it or didn't check on it or, all of the other things, but it didn't consume my energy.
And I want to just tell the listeners a little bit more to the story, because you actually had a very positive outlook. You did everything to batten down the hatches. You did everything to make sure your home and the dock and everything around you was safe from the hurricane. And then you just kept having good thoughts, good feelings, positive emotions. You kept, focusing on the best solution and the best outcome. And then when you got home, you told me about how the neighborhood had been affected, but the water had come like as a pool kind of around your home.
That's a previous hurricane. That I'm in Sarasota now. That's in my house in Marco Island. And we took a direct hit. Nobody could get to my house. The streets were flooded. They closed the island and then they opened the island, but still nobody could get in. And I went down there with a truck and a trailer and tools and ready to either clean the house out, chainsaws, whatever. It took 6 hours. I had a lot of foliage. It was a very tropical yard. It took 6 hours just to clean out the driveway, right? And honestly, and I don't know why, but the water didn't breach my house or not even my pool cage. It stayed 3 feet away from my home. There was a 4-foot watermark on the house next door. The government survey people that came out couldn't explain it. When I got the lift down and went into my boat, the center of the windshield, the walk-through windshield was missing. But when I stepped onto the boat, that piece of windshield was laying in the floor of my boat. It was laying on the deck, as well as the bolt that holds it in. I was like, what the heck? But I'll take it. I lost one roof tile. A lot of it took me 2 weeks to clean up the yard. But yeah.
I gotta feel like you and your positive energy and your positive thoughts, because here's the thing. If you would have been on your vacation thinking like, oh, this is going to get wrecked and this is going to get destroyed, it's going to be so bad, and you just kept thinking about the worst and the worst and the worst, then the universe would have just given you that, because that's all you focused on. And
well, it's kind of, but not necessarily. I'm sure there's a lot of people here in Sarasota that actually, we got lucky. It took a little dip, so we didn't get the tidal surge. Otherwise, my house would have been underwater. The truth of that is, there's nothing I can do about that. So if, and our friends to the south, Sanibel Island got wiped out, Fort Myers Beach, it was terrible. But the truth of the matter is, and you will see it in the resiliency of the citizens of those areas, you just but there's nothing you can do. You just rebuild. Hopefully you have insurance. This might be, you prepare what you can.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have to deal with the aftermath. And it's much more pleasant to deal with it if you have a good attitude,
Right.
than if you have a victim attitude.
Amen. Amen. And so some of those people moved into phase 4. You call it transform, and which I love because, of course, as a cartoon fan, I think of the Transformers who grew and built and became super strong. So share a little bit about that, because I feel like the people who show up at Ignite Humanity Live are Transformers, and I feel like I'm very blessed to be in a circle of Transformers. How can people who are listening feel like I want to move into that Transformer phase?
Well, I think, there's a number of ways to do it. I mean, people do it professionally. You provide a path for people to transform their lives and their identities by becoming best-selling authors, right? We have coaches, we have consultants, we have nonprofits, we have a lot of people, and a lot of organizations and institutions, that can work toward that. But I think really it's when we start to transform ourselves from the inside out, right? We're not looking superficially. We're really changing our concept of self, and we're moving the center point of our default emotion, right? What is your default emotion? We take ourselves everywhere we go. I don't know about you. I would rather be with someone who's joyful and happy than, someone who's curmudgeon or, always complaining, right? So, and we can do that. And as we transform ourselves, and I believe you alluded to this at the beginning, it ripples outward. But it to our family, our children, our friends, into our workplaces. It begins to ripple outward and enhance everything about us and everybody that we touch.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, just one quick thing, because it came in, it also gives you the courage to know when to create healthy boundaries.
Absolutely. Yeah, because as you are growing and you are expanding, I was listening to a recording this morning that said you may actually have to no longer be who you are to become who you want to become. And I thought
Yes,
that
I
was
think
great.
I wrote that. That's Lao Tzu, right? When you
Right.
let go of what you are, you become what you're meant to be, right?
Say it again. Say
And
it
and
again.
we can say who we want to be. We can create that every bit as much as a profession. We can, if we want to be a doctor, we can be a doctor. If we want to change our outlook, create a different outlook in life, and upgrade, if you will, for lack of a better word, our personality, we can do that through awareness.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, you can just reinvent yourself.
I'll go
Reinvent
ring my bell.
yourself. Yeah, ring the bell. Ding, ding, ding. I love it. I love it. I wanted to get a bell too, because that is a bingo. Bravo. Well, you have been very inspiring. Absolutely. And I love all the things that you're sharing. Tell people how they can find you and know a little bit more about what you're up to.
Yes, they can find me on modernconsciousness.com. And the website I see there is on the screen. And if you go out to my website, you can grab a little free PDF that's called 2 Keys to Increase Happiness and Peace of Mind. And it's a little bit science. And then there's a little bit, there's some steps in there that you can take to start to get to know yourself better. Because the thing is, all this happens in our subconscious. Most of what goes in our mind and these thoughts, we have no clue about. So we do have clues all the time, but we have to stop and pause and pay attention to what we're hearing, how we're talking to ourselves, and what we're thinking about. So that little free tool, PDF, will help with that.
Thank you so much. And you are definitely living authentically and in your genuine integrity. And we so appreciate you very, very much. Great sharing. Fantastic show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, JB. Good to see you again.
You got it. Big hugs and kisses. Well, I love when our authors give you and our guests give you great ideas about the way that you can step into the bigger version of you. And one of the things that Stacie said that was so profound is you are the epicenter of your life. Like, think about that. You are the wonderful and amazing center of what it is you want to create, the people around you, the experiences that you have, the things that you make possible, and being the epicenter of you. I mean, it's so true. You want to hang out with, you're hanging out with you all the time. So you want to hang out with someone who's fun and enjoyable. Allow yourself to grow into, to awaken, to go through those steps and to elevate your consciousness to become exactly who it is you want to be, living authentically, being in integrity. It's super powerful. And when you do that, you just give permission and reflection and become a mirror and a leader for other people in your lives to do the same. And folks, I truly believe that is how we are going to ignite humanity. It's not about policies. It's not about more rules. It's not about more studying or more books or more education. It's not about governments. It's not about policies. It's about each and every one of us deciding, consciously deciding that we are going to become the best version of ourselves and go out into the world and reflect that for everyone else. Well, I hope that's been helpful and inspiring to you today. And we want you to know that you can watch this episode again or see all of our episodes in our platform. If you go to our website, ignitehumanity.life/watch, you can see all of the episodes and watch again and listen to the 4 different stages that Stacie shared. This is a free platform and all of our replays are free. We don't want you to buy anything or sell you anything. We just want to make this available to you. And if you love this episode and you want to share it with somebody, please do so. Send them that link and tell them to go check out all the things we're doing to ignite humanity. Well, I'm super passionate to share that if you want to tell your Ignite moment, we would love to have you in one of our books. We are writing numerous compilation books where we take beautiful stories from our viewers and put them into a single chapter in our book. So go to our website and see the new books we have coming out and share a little bit of your Ignite moment and the wisdom that you have gained from it. Now, we also are building schools. That's right. We are committed to building schools and igniting lives in children around the globe and igniting literacy. So we would love for you to share and make a small donation to our charity where we build schools for kids in impoverished countries, 1 brick at a time. So every dollar you donate buys a brick at the school. And these bricks are super special, folks. They're made from recycled plastic, pulled out of the landfills in the local communities, making good and helping them with their the environment. And then those bricks are used to build the schools. And it's a really powerful initiative that we would love for you to encourage and inspire a little bit with a tiny donation. So go there and check that out. Well, I want you to let us know if you would like to be on the show, so you can go to our website and link a little bit about Sharon. It's February, so we wanted to send you love each and every day. Happy February 1st to everybody. It's going to be a month of love and a month of joy. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.